In the labyrinth of life we find ourselves immersed in an eternal whirlwind of challenges, a tangle, intricate unfolding before we with the grace of the leaves that fall in autumn from conflicts, miners who weave their weft in our day by day until the storms, emotional ones that seem perpetual where the mind becomes a whirlpool of thoughts, a symphony of voices, interrogating inmates, hesitating, and sometimes we are dragged into the blackness. But in the middle of this tumultuous dance you've wondered ever if there's a way to directing that internal dialogue towards a place where peace reigns, clarity illuminates the most important corners, dark of the mind, and where the fortress grow like a sturdy tree in spring actually exists a path of self-discovery, of accepting self-love is a journey where, like an intrepid navigator, we explore the uncharted waters of our being, is immersed in the depths of our own being, challenging critical voices with voice of compassion, embracing doubt with certainty that it is one more step towards the wisdom. On this journey we learn to listen to the soft whisper of our heart, to find calm in the midst of the storm, to discover that we are the architects of our own reality. The tangle of defiance becomes a beautiful labyrinth where every twist and turn, Callahan, is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to transform negativity into a song of hope and love. So in between the crossroads of life, let us remember that we are capable of weaving a path of light in the darkness, of transform self-talk into a conversation with the soul. In this labyrinth we find beauty in the fight, strength in vulnerability, and the truth in self-love. The labyrinth of life, with all its mystery, becomes a journey of self-discovery and growth where each step brings us a little closer to the peace, clarity, and strength that lie inside of us. I find myself before the honor to share with you not only words, but also the keys to the ancestral wisdom and practices. As luminous headlights illuminate the dark ocean of our existence, at this time we embark on a journey of self-discovery, one that can transforming our perception of the world and the way we deal with their constant flow. In that forgotten corner of our conscience hides for rules that transcend the time and space, that they stand as watchmen of the essence, human beings, and like compasses that guide us in our wanderings through this life, are rules that distill the essence of the ancestral wisdom and are intertwined with contemporary practices, becoming powerful tools that forge our connection to the and the depths of our being. The first rule urges us to look into the mirror of our own soul, to explore the vast inner universe that lies in our inner self. In that reflection, we discover the inexhaustible source of authenticity, of passions and dreams that they patiently await our attention. Through self-exploration, we find the key to understanding ourselves, and by understanding ourselves, we open ourselves to understanding the world that surrounds us. The second rule, it tells us about the power of empathy from the act of putting on in the shoes of the other. In this gesture, we discovered a deep bond that connect with humanity. In its, we realized that in the diversity of our experiences, and we all share a longing, common love, understanding, and empathy becomes a beacon of compassion that illuminates our and reminds us that ultimately we are all one. The third rule challenges us to embrace change too. Dancing with the impermanence of life. We understand that everything in this world is in constant motion, and in that flow, we found the opportunity to growth and transformation. By embracing change, we free ourselves from the chains of attachment, and we embrace the freedom to be who we are. We really are. The fourth rule us invites gratitude to recognize the beauty in the small details of the life and to appreciate every moment as a precious gift. Through gratitude, we discover that happiness resides in the present, in the ability to see the abundance that surrounds us, and in love that flows through our lives. These four rules, as beacons of wisdom, guide us on our journey, earthly, transforming our lives. Perception and ability to cope with the challenges. In them we find the compass that orients us towards an understanding of ourselves and of the vast mystery that is life, and so on. In this journey of self-discovery and growth, we become architects of our own destiny, able to bravely and wisdom the world around us. Let's start this journey with the first pillar, the mysterious world of the voice, and the epic fight against the negative dialogue that, like shadows, lurks, often envelopes us in the maelstrom of our daily existence. In this fast-paced, bustling theater of the modern world, negativity seems to spread its tentacles far and wide. From the relentless judgments that have been projected on social media up to ESDs in the workplace and tensions that sometimes shake the foundations of relationships. However, here we find a lighthouse of hope, a light that guides us. In the darkness of the negativity, we look to the past, to the wise words of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who confronted the storm of his time. In our reflections, we find the echo of a man who not only ruled a vast empire, but also explored the depths of your own soul, finding strength and endurance to defy and overcome the shadows that he was haunted through the centuries by. His legacy endures as a reminder of that we are architects of our own. We learn that in the midst of the chaos and adversity, we have the power to choose how to respond to questions, circumstances that make us thus surround. In the pages of the Stoic philosophy, we discover the key that allows us not only to resist but also transcend the negativity that threatens to darken our days. We learn that, as Marcus Aurelius, we can transform the storm into a river of teachings that critiques in opportunities for growth and tensions in the crucible where we forge our character, the inner voice that it often becomes our worst criticism can become our greatest ally when we learn to listen to her with compassion. And in this pillar we discover that the negative dialogue that besieges us is just an echo of our own perceptions and beliefs. When we learn to challenge and redirect this dialogue, we become alchemists of our own reality, transforming negativity in a song of empowerment and authenticity. Imagines for a moment that on the vast stage of life the negativity is not presented as a implacable enemy but like a teacher. He knew that with his rod of lessons he would give us guide on our journey. Visualize this. You have given yourself fervently to the search for that dream job, has The echo of a yes that changes the course of your days, but instead of the expected response, what arrives is a cold and ruthless email, a rejection that it rests like a shadow on your longings at that precise moment. The disappointment rests on your heart, and negative thoughts like crows. Darkness begins to flutter in the vastness of your mind, murmuring its doubts in a gloomy voice. I'll never be what I'm enough. Well, whisper, but let's consider for a while. Moment, the Stoic perspective, a gift of the past that invites us to look at the negativity in the face of not being afraid of. See it not as an enemy that will make us destroys, but as a guide that it pushes us to discover our potential. Hidden from this point of view, the shadow of the rejection can be transformed into a light, can be an opportunity to learn, to reflect and ask ourselves what lessons are hidden behind this setback. Unexpected, what jewels of wisdom we can draw from this apparent I fail here. The negativity, instead of to be an insurmountable obstacle, becomes the path to a deeper understanding of us and our journey in life. In the crucible of experience, we discover that negativity is not a judgment about our worth, but a mirror in which we can look at ourselves with curiosity and courage. We learn that through often the case, rejection is the springboard that drives us to reach our goals. A teacher who urges us to grow. And then at that moment when disappointment lurks and thoughts negatives threaten to drown us, let's remember that negativity can be a bridge to self-improvement, a beacon that guides us to flourish of our potential. In its darkness, we find the seed of growth and opportunity to turn rejection into one more step on the path of our dreams. In this vast stage of the life, negativity, often feared as a ferocious enemy lurking in the shadows, keep a deep secret, becoming a wise teacher, counselor who challenges us to look more beyond the surface of adversity. On this journey of self-discovery and growth, we are facing the possibility to change our perspective of transforming clouds, negativity on a canvas of opportunities and freedom. The perspective that arises from this metamorphosis is like a beacon that illuminates the path of resilience, and self-reflection empowers us, provides a mental strength that gives us, allows you to withstand storms with grace, and determination frees us from the trap of relentless self-criticism, allowing us to embracing our humanity with compassion and curiosity. This shift in focus is the alchemy of the soul, invites us to reinterpret situations that once we found them challenging as opportunities to explore the mysteries of our being. In every setback of life, in every shadow of doubt, we found a lesson, a gift that it drives us to grow. In this way, negativity, it becomes the breeze that moves the sails of our ship in the vast ocean of human experience. In this dance of transformation, we discovered that negativity, instead of being the adversary, becomes an ally in our journey of self-discovery. In its reflection, we face our own potential to the opportunity of embrace each challenge as a stepping stone towards our flourishing. Negativity become a teacher who guides us into the light, into a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world that surrounds us. Let's move on to the second pillar of this journey, the power of Perspective, an immortal lesson that Marcus Aurelius, that ancient philosopher, entrepreneur of the soul, bequeathed to us as a gift of wisdom, whispers in our ears that we don't sonos, bears events that occur in the outside world, is the ones who stir the waters of our being, but our judgment, that filter that we color with our experiences. And now if you imagine one day, long and exhausted fight in the arena, life, and at the end an email, cross the threshold of your virtual world, a critical message from a colleague who at first glance it may seem like a direct attack. The vulnerability is, take hold of your spirit, and negative thoughts as horsemen, dark spells threaten to cloud your sky. But here the perspective rises like a beacon, a lantern that illuminates the way to go when changing the lens through which we see this email from. Suddenly the storm of emotions find an anchor in serenity, and if this message, instead of a stalking out of a compass that guides us towards a territory of improvement, criticism, instead of a sharp weapon, it becomes a mirror that reflects areas in which we can grow, and evolving the power of perspective. It allows us as alchemists of the mind, transforming anger into reflection, fear in anger, and negative thoughts in an effective response, and resilient. Here, we found that the reality is a blank canvas that we paint with the brush of our perception. Perspective is the filter through which we see the world, and adjust this filter we give masters. Realize that we have the power to mold our inner reality and exterior. In this metamorphosis, we find the wisdom to set ourselves free of the tyrant of self-criticism, and embracing a more empowered way to live like this. In the mirror of perspective, we become the architects of our destiny, able to respond to challenges with grace and wisdom. Aurelius, from the pages of the history, reminds us that the power of it is an iota tool in our path of self-discovery and growth. Now let's get into the third pillar of this path of enlightenment, the art of cultivating a constructive internal dialogue. A practice that stands like a jewel, hidden in the depths of the self-knowledge in life's journey. We've all witnessed those moments when we become our most critical judges, when the dark aurochs of self-criticism they take over our minds by painting our thoughts with SOMB. I'm not good enough. Whispers one always ruins everything, murmurs other. These internal criticisms, often cruel and ruthless, can become in the invisible chains that bind us to the darkness of doubt and negativity. Though here in this corner of wisdom we look to Marco Aurelius as our guide, philosopher, emperor who defied his own demons. He doesn't teach that we're not powerless victims of these thoughts, but architects of our own inner dialogue. In this journey of transformation, the act of confronting those critical thoughts become a rite of self-awareness and self-control. We question their foundations, we look at them to the eyes with courage, and we strip them of his power. It is true that we are not what we are sufficiently. It's true that we always ruin all. The answer is often an echo, empty, a baseless murmur too. As we practice this dialogue, internal construction, we found that the negative thoughts lose their force and its influence on our minds. Our perception becomes clear as a tranquil pond where the Moon in all its splendor we enter a mind centered and at peace, where the whirlwind of self-criticism dissipates and gives way to a new perspective full of love, self-acceptance and self-acceptance. In this third pillar we find a invaluable tool for forging a more compassionate relationship with us. A relationship that allows us to flourish in the fullness of our being. Constructive internal dialogue becomes the path to authenticity and serenity, in the key that frees us from the shackles of negativity and leads us into the light of the self-acceptance. In Marco's path, Aurelio found the inspiration for embrace the power of our own voice and transform into an echo of love and strength. And now our journey leads to the fourth pillar, a corner of wisdom that immerses us in the river of the present, reminding us of that here at this moment resides the true essence of life, the mind. Human, with its astonishing ability to allows you to sail between the waters of the imagination, build castles of dreams in the air, and relive the passages of our past. But as a double edge of a sword, this same ability, it can turn into a curse when we get lost in remorse of yesterday, or we are caught up in the anxiety networks for what it holds tomorrow. Focus on the present becomes a beacon of clarity that dispels the fog of the ghosts of the past and the imaginary monsters of in the future. Here at this moment we find a refuge, an island of calm in the middle of the tumultuous ocean of life. In this present, the load of old errors perishes like a morning mist under the warm kiss of the sun. Worries unfounded like dry leaves carried by the wind fade into the vastness. When we fully embrace the present, awakens in us the ability to make informed decisions, to calmly weigh the options that unfold before we allow us to live with purpose. With my eyes wide open to the miracle of every breath, to the miracle of life itself. In the realm of mindfulness, we discover that every moment is a precious gift, an opportunity to experience the wonder of the existence. Every breath, every heartbeat of the heart becomes a reminder that ultimately we are architects of our own reality, shapers of our destiny. In the workshop of the eternal present, in this path, the fourth pillar stands as a beacon of wisdom, reminding us that life in its fullness and splendor, it happens at this very moment, in the constant heartbeat of the present. As you explore these pillars of wisdom, we discover that they are beacons of light in the vast ocean of our psyche, flashes of understanding that guide us in the navigation of the inland seas of our soul, are tools that grant the ability to sail with, break the tumultuous waters of our mind, to transform the winds, negativity in breezes, softness that propel us towards a destination of fullness and balance. Each of these pillars, like leaves of an ancient tome of knowledge, hold secrets deep and precious, whose treasures can only be reveal themselves to those willing to explore its meaning beyond the words. Negativity becomes a guide that challenges us to grow. Perspective transforms into a mirror that shows us the truth behind our perceptions, the inner dialogue. Constructive becomes the voice, compassionate, that drives us to achieve our best version and the present, in a gift that gives us opportunity to live. These pillars together make up the rudder of our existence. Compass that orients us in the vast ocean of life. Remind us that we are the captains of our own ship, the intrepid navigators who have the power to direct the course of our lives with wisdom and discernment, because at the end of this, we understand that the mind is the rudder that guides our destiny, and it is up to each of us with courage and determination to take the reins and sailing to the fullness of a conscious and balanced. If at any point you have felt the weight of those bad habits that seem unshakable, or have fought to keep the helm of your emotions in the tumultuous waters of this video becomes your ally in this journey. Every word, every image is a bridge to a better understanding of yourself, a compass that orients you in your quest for growth and balance. This channel, with its purpose claro and its mission to enrich your life, becomes a beacon of courage and knowledge. Here we form a community of restless souls eager to knowledge and growth. We invite you to join us on this journey, learning collective and self-improvement. Subscribe and let's walk together, exploring the vast universe of possibilities that open up before us through the power of connection. Amos, strength and resilience in unity. Together we challenge limitations, we explore new horizons, and we celebrate the small triumphs in our path to democracy, self-realization. This is more than a video, more than a channel, it's a beacon of inspiration and a call to action. Reminder that in our quest of self-discovery we are not alone. In this community we find support and growth, and each new step brings us closer a little more, make the best version of ourselves, because ultimately we are the architects of our evolution, and this is the beginning of a journey in which we will learn and will grow together. I say goodbye not without before I remind you, I'm Stoic. What about you?